So we fished them out of the water and got them in the boat. And I hopped up and got hold of the tiller and we got her started. And I don't remember who was the boat engineer, but I didn't need to worry about failing. I might have been running the boat all my life. And so I headed up to the vessel, and it was quite a run up there. And she had been hitting the stern, and there was an old Warrant boatswain up there, and he's a crabby old guy. I hailed it and I said, "Boys, vessel ahoy, do you need any help?" "No, I don't need no goddamn help." And I said, "Well, I was from Nevada and I was ordered to report up here or come up here and see if you needed help. If you don't need any help, I was to return to the air station." He said, "Well, carry out your orders." "Yes, sir." And I kicked her full ahead and we made a loop and back to the air station. And we pulled into there, no problem. Never landed a 40-footer, no problem. And we went into the office to turn in. The first thing they handed me was a Springfield rifle and a bandolier of ammunition. I said, "What the hell am I going to do with that?" And this guy says, that bullets will crack the engine on an airplane." "Okay, we'll take her." And they almost immediately had somebody in the boat. And we took him to a hospital point, and they were back in ambulances and station wagons. Anything that would hold a stretcher was coming down, and other boats were coming in there too. Back over at the air station, this time they give us a bunch of cots, army cots that fold up, and says, "Take these to the officers club," and they're setting up an emergency battle dressing station. And also we took a wounded guy, and took the guys carried the wounded guy in, and I got back to the dock first anyway. And there was an old-time, oh, he was a huge man. He was full commander with the Oakleys of a supply officer. He was off of one of the supply ships, and I forget which one it was. But he looked at me and he says, "Young man, are you hurt?" And he looked down toward my belly, and when I was in the S Division compartment, I'd wipe my bloody hands on the front of my breeches and my shirt. And I said, "Oh, no, sir." I said, "That's somebody else's blood." And he looked at me and said, "You look out there." I said, "Yes, sir, I see." He says, "Them people are going to pay for this." And I couldn't figure how I was going to make anybody pay for anything, because the Washington and North Carolina were on the East Coast, and the 3rd Division, that's the New Mexico, Idaho, and Mississippi, were in Reykjavik, Iceland. And the rest of our battleships were set in the bottom of Pearl Harbor. Well, anyway, he hit me up for a ride to his ship, and I took him out there. In fact, I was operating pretty much on my own. And we got back they had a boat officer at Mary's Point Landing, where the small boats usually landed. And now, time-wise, from when the battle started a little after 8 till Nevada was grounded, was 12:28. I got the dope in there from the chronological records. Anyway, we went up to got a little break and went up to the receiving station to eat chow. And there's huge lines of guys in there waiting for chow. And you go down through the line and look and see if you seen anybody you knew. And if you did, why, first everybody had the same question: "Have you seen so-and-so?" And they opened up the small stores and give us clean clothes and clean underwear and the towels. You go take a shower if you wanted to. Some of us are pretty cruddy. And so I was in there taking a shower, and that's when I discovered, I rubbed a bar of soap on top of my head, that my hair was a cinder. And there was a young sailor over there taking a shower too, and he was eyeballing me. Finally he came over and he says, "Did you used to live around Centralia, Washington?" And I says, yeah. He says, up Lincoln Creek? I says, yeah. Well, it's on Bob Harper. When we were kids, there was a certain place along Lincoln Creek that several of us boys used to go camping. And we'd catch crawdads and cook them and go fishing and go skinny dipping and camp out overnight, smoke Bull Durham cigarettes, everything, whatever we could filch, and make a pot of stew or something. And there was the two or three Harper boys, Ralph and Bill, were a little older than he was. They were just teenagers, and I was about 13. And he was a little tag-along. But they were on the Enterprise, and when it came in, he was going to go aboard. So anyway, that was one thing that happened. Anyway, we went back to the boat, and I don't know just how many where we went, but I told the boat officer, I says, is there any place I can get fuel? I said, I'm starting to get low. He said, can you make it to the air station? I said, yeah. Well, he said, maybe they got fuel for you. So I said, okay. And somebody would tow me in if I did get stranded. So I went to the air station. They says, no, we don't have diesel, but we have a gas boat you can use. And I said, okay, we'll take it. And it was the awfulest whole thing. It wasn't a 40-footer, it was a 50-footer. So I'd gone from a 26-foot motor whaleboat to a 40-footer to a 50-footer in a few hours. And learned them all like a veteran. But this gas boat had a clutch in it like an automobile. You had to push that damn clutch down. The diesel boat, you pushed her ahead, you go ahead, push her back, if you come back. In the middle you was neutral, the screw quit turning. But this gas boat, you had to be careful you didn't scratch the gears in the darn thing. That's why it took a little getting used to it, but we didn't tear up much. And we, I think one of the first trips I made with it, go to the Nevada and get some body parts, take them to the hospital for identification. Where I'd like to take, well, there'll be somebody at the dock to meet you. Okay, so I went down where the Nevada, and Nevada was gone. And somebody said, oh, there she is, way across the channel. They were afraid that Nevada was going to slip off the beach and sink in the channel. So they a couple of tugboats shoved her across to what's now Nevada Point. So we went over there, and it was pretty well down, and I couldn't bring that big 50-footer up to their gangway. I just pulled it right up the main deck almost, and the Marine handed me these body parts wrapped in gauze, and we stuck them down the hole there and went back over, and then the getting pretty well late in the evening, and the boat officer says, well, we got plenty of boats now. He says, you can go turn in at the officer of the deck at receiving station. Okay. So I went in there, and he says, go to report to this first-class petty officer up on the next deck of the receiving station. And he says, can any of you guys handle a Lewis machine gun? I said, yeah, I can. And because Pete Lenart, this gunner's mate, used to mount one on a pedestal in the back of the Nevada on the main deck, and they'd take wooden boxes or something that was float up by the bow and throw them overboard when we were at sea, and we'd turn that machine gun loose and shoot at them. And as they floated by, well, I'd fired it twice, so I was an expert. And, so he says, here's this Lewis gun and a case of ammunition. I said, what the hell do I do with it? He said, take it up there and set it out in case there's an invasion.